Hello, guys. Welcome back. This is RandoGEEK. All right, so we have an update here regarding Dish Wireless. So we've been seeing this coming, or at least I have. We've made some reports on this channel regarding this. There was conversation about a month and a half ago about this possibly happening. Some of you have left comments on that video about that you think that's going to happen. So you were right, and we were right, should I say. So here we go. So Dish satellite operator and EchoStar to merge. All right. So I'm going to read the article. It's very short, so we'll go through it real quick. The link for the article will be down below in the description for you guys, and then we'll talk a little bit about this. So pay TV provider Dish Network plans to merge in an all-stock deal with satellite communications vendor EchoStar. The companies controlled by billionaire Charles Ergen said on Tuesday. Ergen, who co-founded Dish, owns more than half of its outstanding shares and owns nearly 60% of EchoStar, according to regulatory filings. Shares of Dish were up marginally, while those of EchoStar were down 6.6% after pre-market trading resumed. The deal combines Dish's pay TV business and its 5G wireless network with EchoStar's satellite communication solutions. EchoStar has a bank of satellites that serve the U.S. government, media organizations, and Hughes Network home customers. Dish has focused on expanding its cellular wireless offerings. Obviously, it faced tough competition from larger carriers, including at&t and Verizon Communications. Don't forget T-Mobile, which they didn't add there. But under the terms of the deal, EchoStar stockholders will receive 2.85 shares of Dish Network's Class A common stock, with the exchange ratio representing a 12.9% premium to EchoStar's close on July 6th, when reports of a merger first surfaced. EchoStar CEO Hamid Akhavan will lead the combined company upon the completion of the deal, which is expected by the end of the year. Ergen will serve as executive chairman. As of Monday's close, the market value of Dish stood at $4.07 billion, while that of EchoStar was $1.97 billion. All right, so that's the article. Like I said, really short. So the effort here is obviously to merge the assets, the satellites, everything into one company, okay? This way, Dish can ultimately use all of that to resume its wireless build-out. We know about the FCC requirement, how Dish has to be at 75% by the end of 2025. They're only at 70% now. Dish has said that it's going to cost as much as $3 billion for them to continue to get to that level. We know that Dish doesn't have that kind of money right now. That's why they're looking to get the Boost Infinite line out there, promote that line in efforts to try to make money off of it. They've said that they don't want to do any more deployments right now because they can't. They simply cannot. So that's the thing with this whole U.S. cellular situation too, right? Now there's four possible contenders that can take part of that, right? U.S. Cellular can split it up. It can go to T-Mobile. It can go to at&t, Verizon. It can't go to Dish most likely unless they purchase part. Unless it gets split up. If it gets split up and it goes four ways, Dish might be able to get their hands on a little bit of it. They might be able to get some of the 600 megahertz. Now, it's unlikely that Dish will be able to even afford any of it at this point. But I don't know. Maybe now with the merger of EchoStar, they might be able to pull some more assets. But it all depends on timing, right? When this deal is finalized, when the U.S. cellular sale is actually finalized. Remember, that's just talk. It hasn't happened yet. So that will take some time. Even when it's done, it will take a lot of time. A lot of stuff has to get regulated. And I don't know if Dish will be able to afford it, but they could certainly use it. And now with these assets coming in, they might be able to afford it, right? Another alternative would be if they actually did start something up with Amazon, right? But that's reaching far because now you got to get the company to start up, the two companies to start up together. That has to be approved and regulated. So there's a lot of things with that, right? I mean, ultimately, that's the best thing for Dish is for Amazon to step up, bring its capital, bring its advertising, and for those two to just build something. We've been waiting for that. Whether or not that can ever happen, or will ever happen, should I say, is completely up in the air because we haven't really heard anything else recently other than lies about how, apparently they've already started their own wireless network when all they're doing is selling Boost Infinite plans that are exactly the same. So with that being said, the whole Amazon and Dish thing is just kind of a fairy tale at this point. We don't know if that would ever happen. Ultimately, that, like I said, would be the best thing for Dish. But this isn't so bad. Merging these assets together will give Dish a lot more capital, should I say, which ultimately can help them continue that build out. They'll be able to have a little bit more of an edge now. And obviously, if they got their hands on some of that U.S. cellular spectrum, that would definitely help. But again, capital's a problem. Might be a little easier now with this merger once this fully goes into effect. But we'll see. I mean, at least it's good to see that Dish is still making moves. Like I've been saying, they're not bowing out. They're still continuing to fight. They haven't thrown in the towel. But there are some possibilities for Dish. Again, that Amazon merger would just be amazing. And for those of you that are saying that could never happen, why not? Why not? If the FCC has allowed, T-Mobile to purchase Mint Mobile, okay, which is still on hold, but it's gonna go through. Okay, we know it's gonna go through. Sprint, okay, they bought Metro. They had the upper hand in 5G before it even got hot. Okay, they were the first because they were able to just come in and swoop up all this spectrum, all Sprint cells. I mean, that gave them a massive upper hand in the 5G build out. Whereas where AT&T and Verizon, they had to work so much harder. So my point is, if the FCC could allow T-Mobile to pull rank like that, to be able to purchase all that spectrum, even though it was hurting AT&T and Verizon, then why can't they allow two companies, one that is struggling to continue its build out, which it has to do, otherwise it's going to be fined tremendously and will probably put a nail in their coffin. Dish I'm talking about now. So that would be, I think if those two actually did want to get together, it would happen. It would happen because they can't not allow it. It would be unfair to the wireless industry, and it would be unfair to a company that needs the spectrum but doesn't have the capital. And then they can say, well, Amazon stepping in, it would be too big for the wireless industry. It wouldn't be unfair to everyone. It's not any more unfair than allowing T-Mobile to purchase everything. And then there's rumors going around, which I did a video on it yesterday. Something was wrong with it, so I would have to redo it. But there was a lot of things that I said in there that I want to go back over. So that's why I haven't redone it yet. But, there's a lot of rumors going around about how T-Mobile is the best, most likely carrier to purchase U.S. Cellular. That's not going to happen. That can't happen. It cannot happen. That would be a monopoly at this point. If they gave it all to T-Mobile, everything that's going through, they still have, like I said, they still have Mint going through. That's a huge purchase. That goes along with, Ultra Mobile. How much can you give T-Mobile? Yeah, how much? So that's what I'm saying. If the FCC approved that, then, what's the point of this? They might as well just tell AT&T, Verizon, and Dish, definitely Dish at that point, shut your doors. Don't even bother. We're going to have one wireless carrier now. It's going to be T-Mobile, like it or not. You cannot do that. The best that can happen is it gets split up. That's the best that can happen. or it would have to go to, I would say if it was going to go to one, it would go to a smaller company like Dish. Dish Network is struggling. Okay, they need spectrum. They need this. It's not a matter of even what, they need it. They're falling behind, and if they do not meet this requirement, they will be fined, and it will shut them down. If they do not meet this requirement, they're not going to be able to stay in business. So, but again, it will take a large investor like Amazon. But I don't think they would come in as a silent partner. I think that if they did it, they would put their brand on it, because that would help elevate the sales. You know, Dish Native has proven to be a pretty good company, pretty good service so far from what we're seeing. We're not seeing enough of it, unfortunately, because they're not deploying enough. But it's been proven so far to be a very good network from what we're reading, okay, what we're seeing and what we're reading. So I don't know. That's my 2 cents on this whole thing with Dish. A little bit of the US Cellular. I'll drop that video. You know, I got to get all my stuff together again to redo it. But ultimately, I'll save you guys some of the time. Pretty much my rant in that video was I don't see T-Mobile being eligible to purchase all of that US Cellular spectrum. Maybe they could split it through the big three. And only because Dish would need the money. And I don't know, maybe this merger with EchoStar would give them some advantage where they can get their hands on some of it. Maybe they'd be able to purchase some of it now without it draining them. You know, this would definitely give them some more leverage, which is very good for them. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. You know, at the end of the day, we're all just talking about it. Nobody really knows what's going on behind the scenes, you know? Like, I report these articles to you, and, you know, whatever I'm reading or how I understand it is how I communicate it back to you guys. But at the end of the day, I don't work for these companies, so I don't really know what they're going through behind the closed doors. So, you know, none of us should really act like we do, unless we do. Because some people might know people in the right positions that actually have inside information, you know? And then if that's the case, then you can report that if you want, you know, then it's real. It's a real deal. You know what's happening. But, you know, I, for one, I'm not going to tell you that I know exactly what Dish's plan is. I could tell you what I'd like to see. Definitely like to see that merger between Amazon and Dish. I think that would be great. And I think it would be fair. I think it would be fair. Amazon has the right to want to come into the wireless industry. Why not? You know, it's no different than allowing T-Mobile to come in and buy everything. You know, if anything, it would give T-Mobile a run for their money, which would be fair. You know, as far as Verizon and at&t, well, maybe they need to look to do something. I don't know. Maybe they can do something else. There's plenty of other fish in the sea that they can look to merge with to build out. You know, Verizon could merge with any company, look to merge with any company, you know? So, I don't know. I mean, I like the idea, like I've been saying, of Dish being the fourth big carrier. I think we need it. It's good for the wireless industry, you know? And yeah, it's another reason why the FCC cannot approve T-Mobile purchasing all that US Cellular. It would just be unfair. And it just doesn't, it's terrible. How much can they get? I mean, I know people are saying, well, they need this. You know, there's deficiencies in the T-Mobile network and the N41. And yes, but they have enough spectrum. Okay? They have enough spectrum. They're gonna get all that Mint spectrum. If they can't do it with what they have, what makes you think they can do it with the purchase of US Cellular spectrum? You know, if they haven't been able to fine tune a lot of these issues, I don't know if they ever will. And it's not a diss on T-Mobile, because I love T-Mobile. You know, I mean, they need work on rule. You know, they definitely do. That's my only complaint ever with T-Mobile is rule. They they still have some deficiencies there. And you know, and that's where everyone's saying, well, US Cellular, and well, maybe it gets split up. That's the only thing I can tell you. They're definitely not going to be eligible to purchase the whole thing. And maybe, you know, like I said, with Dish now, having a little bit more to bring to the table asset-wise, maybe they can get their hands on a little bit. And then maybe it goes 4 ways. But like I said, if there's any reality to Amazon wanting to get into the wireless game, this is their chance. Because now they can come in, they can get at least some of that spectrum from US Cellular, and then Dish and Wireless can build out their network, you know? But all of it is a huge transaction. Either way you slice this is all going to be a giant regulated mess. Even if it goes 4 ways, who gets what? How does this work? You know, so we're looking at a massive developing story that's going to take quite some time to get resolved. Again, remember, US Cellular hasn't confirmed that they're even selling yet. Just talks. Most likely it will happen. But just now, it's just talks. So, all right, guys, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.